Hey y'all, it's PastorDoostyn. What you're about to see is a short clip from a Q&A live stream that we did over on Twitch recently. Hope you enjoy the content. Like and sub for more. And I'll see you in the video. Bye. Warden of the Sand asked, and it's on your screen now, it says, dreams were taken seriously in the Old Testament. How do you feel about them in today's times? Okay, I briefly answered this earlier while we were playing the games, but I said, well, let's think about what does Joel 2 say that we quote so often. It says, let me put it where y'all can see the whole thing on screen. In Joel 2, 28, 29, it says, and it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit on all flesh. Your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. Even on the male and female servants, in those days I will pour out my spirit. Now, if we read the context, because context is important, we'll understand that he's talking about the last days, which doesn't just mean like, okay, the Antichrist's about to show up, Armageddon's happening, fires falling from the sky. That's not what that means. Yeah, I mean, that's included, but the last days began 2,000 years ago. So we are in those last days. And so I believe that we have seen and are seeing this come to play. We saw that begin on the day of Pentecost, where God's Spirit was poured out. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit on all flesh. Your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams. Your young men shall see visions. So here's the reason I bring that up. You say dreams were taken seriously in the Old Testament. How do you feel about them in today's times? I still believe that God is moving in those ways, as I would stand on Joel and other places, that God is still speaking through those means. Now, I will also say that many times, people will take dreams, literal dreams that they've had while they're asleep, and assume that there is a spiritual significance to it, or make up a spiritual significance, or make up a dream altogether. And will do so for attention, for, a charismatic pride token. I don't know, but it's like, look at me, look at how spiritual I am. God has given me a dream. And then it elevates the person instead of being a message from God. But here's the rub, here's the tension, is we don't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater. You don't want to just say, well, because of some crazy people or some liars or some prideful people or whatever, I'm going to say that God isn't moving, that God doesn't move in those ways, that God can't move in those ways. We read a lot of instances, yes, in the Old Testament where there were specific dreams, like Daniel interpreted a bunch of them, didn't he? But we know about those times, and I think also we assume that that those were the only dreams that they had, or that they always had these kind of dreams or something. Like, that was not a common thing even for them, which is why it was so overwhelming and amazing and whatever. I've never had a dream like that. I've never had God speak to me in a dream. I've never had God show me a vision like that. But I'm not going to say that he can't or that he doesn't. I believe he does. So how do I feel about him in today's times? I feel like a lot of people abuse the fact that it does happen for their own pride and attention, and that pushes a lot of other people away from even accepting the possibility that God may move in that way, which is a shame.